Hey guys, I'm live just a few minutes, or should I say a few seconds early. It's fixing to hit 8 o'clock. So I saw Philip Turner and Patty Tothwhite and Margot and uh, who else was in there? I think I saw 12B Georgia, yeah, and Margot Dahlgren. I saw all of y'all in the chat and I thought, well, why not? I'll just go ahead and come on in, say hey to you, see what's going on. Um, Thought we might chat for a second. It's 8 p.m. I'm not in a rush. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if we jump on it right off the bat or if we work into it slowly. So I want to say hello to Colleen O'Sullivan, Patty Tothwhite, Margot Dahlgren, Philip Turner, 12B Georgia, and Margot Dahlgren. Got you there. I don't want to miss anybody, and if I do, please don't take it personal. I don't mean to miss anybody because I'm grateful for every single one of you that are in the chat. My chat's showing two, and I know that's a totally erroneous number. So uh, tonight we're going to get into some stuff, but before I get there, I have to always go through the preliminaries, and I have to mention my brothers and my patriot friends before I continue with tonight's report. We want to always remember on Thursday nights, Tony Patriot at 8 p.m. We want to remember that I and Dangerous Freedom, the Dangerous Deplorables, go live on Friday at 3 p.m. and Sunday at 8 p.m. I go live tonight, which is Friday on 8 p.m. I go live on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I go live on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. We also have Knight's Armory. He comes on Saturday mornings, a lot of times, Sunday mornings. And if not, he'll be there at 10 p.m. following the DMB report. Always follow DM and History B. And then we have to remember Dangerous Deplorables at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. We're going to have a really special show Sunday night. We had a show today at 3 p.m. Dangerous Deplorables, Dangerous Freedom, and I had a guest, and it was Fight or Defend. And I'm going to tell you, we've got a guy here who is a lot like a very dear friend of mine, who I will not name, who is entwined and has a lot of knowledge of the three-letter organizations and the things that they do. So you don't want to miss Sunday night at 8 p.m. It's going to be our second video with this guy, and I'm going to tell you, you don't want to miss it. A lot of stuff's going to be put out there, and you can decipher if you believe it to be true or not. But I'm going to tell you, pretty much everything this guy's told me, I pretty much believe. That's just the way it is. Either you believe in something or you don't. And this coming from a person who has the inside knowledge, as well as the experience and the time and the job, willing to share this with us, we should be grateful for that, because these guys are putting themselves on the line by bringing this to us. So let's pray for those guys who are trying to bring the truth to all of us. Thank you, Liberty Smith and Patty Tothwhite, for being here. I was hoping to get a few more viewers before I got started, but it doesn't matter if there's one or two or just me. I'm going to continue to do what I do, and I'm going to continue to come here on my designated times, and I'm going to continue to do what I've always done, which is to try to bring you the truth. Granted, I may be swayed here and there, but the truth of the matter is I bring you the truth. The truth is I understand it, and the truth is I know it. But for one truth, I do know this. The FBI arrested 3 individuals who are members of an extremist group called the Base. I may be a bit confused by this whole idea of what they're fixing to tell us, but I want you to know that I want the whole story from Governor Ralph Northam to be told. So the FBI arrested 3 alleged members of an extremist group in Maryland. And, these people threatened violence. And they said they were going to go to the rally on the 20th, which is Monday, in Virginia. The 3 suspects are part of a radically motivated, violent extremist group, the Base. And we're hoping to start a race. Get this, they want to start a race war. And they're hoping to start a race war and wanting to create a white ethno, can you get that? Ethno state, and carry out violent attacks against minorities. This is the kind of thing that I'm confused about on the 20th in Virginia. You see, you have people right here. They're telling you straight up and down that they are going to try to interfere in one way or another with everything that's going down in Virginia on the 20th. These people are letting you know in advance. See, you have to understand, that's the way the demons are. The demons are the people that when they do something, it's almost law to them. They have to tell you what they're going to do. And this first page I read tells you everything they're going to do. And this is the plan. This is the whole plan of the left. So as we get started tonight, let's just be serious about this. Let's get this all out. Let's be honest. Let's put it down to the nitty-gritty, to what it actually is and what it's going to be and how it's going to come to play out. Let's not be hiding our face. Let's not be putting our heads in the sand. Let's look at this problem. And that's all it is a problem. You think about Virginia, and everybody wants to think about Virginia. Well, I'm not so much thinking about just Virginia. There's other places around America who are doing the same thing, but they're doing it in a different way. It may come to the Virginia way of doing things, but as of right now, it's not, because less than 2 weeks ago, the New York State's new law took effect. Get this, allowing criminals to be released with no bail, nothing. This new law is already having a lifelong ramification for New Yorkers. Where else besides New York or LA could such a dangerous idea of releasing criminals without bail come from? Somebody tell me. Where would this idea come from, that you can release criminals without bail? I mean, what is this? I thought the deep state and the government was all about making money, and I thought they made money on bail. So now, why all of a sudden is New York saying, okay, no bail, everybody goes free? So what? They arrest you for rape, and you go to jail. They book you and they turn you loose. What the heck is that? You know, it's a good thing for the people of the United States that Bernie Sanders will never be president, because Bernie loves this idea of catch and release with no bail. He believes in putting criminals back on the street within a few hours to commit more crimes against us. And this is what Bernie's all about. If president, this insane practice would be law in all 50 states. That means in all 50 states that you have to catch them and release them. Don't worry about putting $1 million worth of bail on them for a child murderer. No need. Just let him go. Just let him go. He'll come back. He'll come back and he'll go before a court, my butt. If you believe that, then you're going to believe that every illegal alien that's caught at the border who's given a court date shows up. They're not going to show up. They're criminals. They're evil from the core. You know, Bernie praised the New York practice of catch and release and reformation of bail bonds. Can you believe that? So now you've got a presidential candidate who actually, and what I understand from what I've seen, this socialist has a following. He's ahead of Warren. He's ahead of Biden. He's ahead of everybody. So what? We now have a socialist movement in America. We have Bernie and AOC bringing everything to fruition. They're bringing it all to the forefront for the 2020 election. Is that what they're doing? Is that what they're trying to do? Well, let's be honest about this. Let's look at it as it really is. You have Donald Trump, who by no means will be defeated in 2020, unless you patriots, we patriots, stay home and don't vote because we think we got it in the bag. Well, listen to me, brothers, sisters, listen. We don't have it in the bag if we don't vote. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you don't vote, it's a vote for the other side, patriot. It's a vote for the other side. So vote on voting day, no matter what. Vote. Let's reelect this president. Let's give him a chance to do another 4 years. Maybe, just maybe, if we pray hard enough and we beg hard enough and we hope hard enough, we'll have people like Hillary Rodham Clinton and Hussein Barack Muslim Obama and other people like them. Maybe we'll have them arrested. I doubt it. I really do. But that's what I would like to see. Because, you know, this catch and release with no bail law it's just a merry-go-round inside the system. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's a merry-go-round. They have no intention of keeping people. You know, they want to catch and the immediate release of criminals with no thought or concerns if this criminal will reoffend or be rearrested, because repeat offenders will simply be released again, again, and again. So do you see what's going to happen here? With no surety that any released criminals will even show up for court. See, we have the same problem with these criminals that we release as we do with these people at the border that we release, expecting them to come back to court on a court date. Look, these criminals are murderers, they're robbers, thieves, rapists, child molesters. Do you think for 1 minute they care at all? Do you think for 1 minute that they care at all about anything that is good? Do you think for a minute that they care about what they've done? No. Listen, they'll do again what they've done before. This is what we as American patriots need to stop. I'm so sick of it. We need to stop. We need to stand on our own 2 feet. We need to stand up and be proud and say, we will not have this anymore in our country. And in order to do that, I'm afraid there's going to be a fight. I'm not calling for war of any kind, but I'm going to tell you right now, Virginia is a powder keg. And not just Virginia, but we have counties all over the United States. And almost every state are calling themselves sanctuary counties and cities. We have to understand that we are a movement. We are a people. We are a group of American patriotic, God-loving Americans. And we've had enough. Well, my fear is this. This is not in my script. I'm off script and I don't care. But my fear is this. And I said this afternoon on my live earlier. I am concerned. I'm very concerned about our patriots, our patriot brothers who are going to Virginia and be there on the 20th. I'm concerned for them. I really am. We have outside groups trying to come in. We have MS-13, the 18th Street Gang, Antifa, and others who have already been welcomed in by Governor Ralph Northam of Virginia. He's already welcomed those people in. So you know that we're already going to be facing a conflict. And I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know who's going to push the hardest or who's going to make the first blow. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, I'm concerned about my patriot brothers that are going there on the 20th. I wished I could be there. Personally, I just couldn't afford it. I just can't afford to just stop and go to Virginia. I don't have the money. But I'll tell you, brothers that are there, Disabled Vets Perspective, American Joe, Douglas Ducote, all of these great patriots that are going up there and standing firm for our Second Amendment constitutional rights. We have to be aware that these people are going up there and they're actually putting their lives on the line. If you think for a minute this is going to be a peaceful protest, and I pray to God it is, you better be ready for the worst. Believe me, I know my patriot brothers are, but we have people from the NRA coming to speak. What they're doing is they're blocking us off. Remember back in Portland when you had Antifa and the Proud Boys and all these patriots over here? You know, they kept the Proud Boys and the patriots off to one side, and they kept Antifa off to another side to where they burned vehicles. They assaulted people who happened to be walking down the street. They started fires. They were raising hell. Okay? But yet you had the patriots who were all cordoned off and all sent a certain way. That's the same thing that's going to happen in Virginia. They're not going to allow us to get too close. But the problem is they're going to allow the other side to get too close. And that's not good. That's what scares me. It scares me that some radical leftist crazy idiot will do something stupid. And once that first shot is fired or that first patriot is stabbed to death, there's going to be a war like you've never seen. I know for a fact most of these patriots are going to be carrying concealed. Virginia is I never get this name right, but reciprocity. They have reciprocity with a lot of states. So if you come to Virginia, concealed carrying, you're carrying under the law. Of course, the governor, he says, no, no, no. The whole Capitol and all the grounds is a gun-free zone. Okay. So who has the guns in the gun-free zone? You got to remember that the governor, the lieutenant governor, secretary of state, they've all left. They've all vamoosed. They're out somewhere in a hideaway somewhere out in the woods hiding because they're scared. And they know that it wouldn't take but that much. That much is all it would take for us to take over the Capitol building. They know that their only line of defense is Antifa and Black Lives Matter and the 18th Street Gang and all these other gang groups if they've welcomed to come in. So we need to be, as patriots, we need to be alive. We need to be aware. We need to have eyes open, ears open, and understand this is not a normal thing that happens in everyday society. What's going to happen on the 20th, my friends, in Virginia is going to be monumental. There's going to be something happen. I promise you. It will not go the way we would have it go, which is peaceful. Let us go. Let us show our numbers. Let us show you our dissent. Let us show you by our numbers how we disagree with your program. But we're coming with hands out, palms open. We're not coming to attack. We're coming to be seen. But don't attack us. Because I promise you, you attack us, you're going to see hell like you've never seen. I'm not trying to talk hate. I'm not trying to talk anger or dissent or anybody to hurt anyone else. But I'm simply saying what's true. If you have a group of American patriots on one side, and you have a group of these communist, socialist, whatever neo-Nazi parts of groups they are, along with the MS-13 and Antifa and all the other gangs. If that's their base of security, then they're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And I'll tell you, I don't want no trouble at all. I want the patriots to go to Virginia, and I want them to protest, and I want the protest to end as it started, peacefully. You know, we got to stop the anger sometime. But the problem is we can't stop the anger as long as the anger is coming at us. As long as we are being attacked, we have to respond. We can't just stop and just say, okay, attack me. All right, then you're a wimp. Then you're a nothing. You're worse than a bitch dog. Okay? We can't do that. We have to stand strong, look them in the face, look them in the eye, and say, bring it. As patriots, that's what we have to do. We have to be willing to die for our Constitution and our Bill of Rights in this country that men lived and died for. We have to have that same mentality. We have to be willing to take and put America first. We cannot allow, no matter what it takes, no matter what sacrifice you have to make, there will never be a sacrifice any greater than the sacrifice that you made for your country. Because when you make a sacrifice for your country, you're sacrificing to your family, your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors. And I'm not talking about death and sacrifice. I'm talking about giving of your time and your efforts and your know-how and your knowledge and your competence and how you can help. Because we're all going to have to help in the end. You know, unfortunately, the law-abiding citizens will pay the price. for this dangerous dog and pony show that these people are wanting to put on us. And that's all it is. It's a dog and pony show. They're wanting to lay on us a dog and pony show and watch us ride the ponies and jump the dogs and play their little tune. We're not going to play their dog and pony show because that's what they're going to offer us. You know, and this dog and pony show is something that if you buy into it, you're going to suffer the worst, you know, because you have no hope. You know, you get locked up, there's, no bail. Everybody's immediate release. So it's okay to play your dog and pony show. And they can hurt you any way they want to, and they'll be released. So you see what I'm trying to say, people. Just this week, a local New Yorker was charged with killing a 27-year-old man while driving drunk. All right. Despite 6 felony convictions, 6 felony convictions, and 6 misdemeanor convictions, the drunk was released the same day without bail. Do you see what's happening in New York? And you know that everything that happens in New York is going to go to the West Coast, which I don't care what happens in California, Oregon, Washington. I don't care. Let's build that southern wall. Let's build it to Arizona. And then when we get to the end of Arizona, cut north, cut off California, Washington, and Oregon as well. I'm going to tell you, people, if there was a way to wall off New York, we should. I just gave you a way to wall off the California coast, the whole West Coast. Cut them off. But you know, even with 12 prior conviction, this killer couldn't be made to wear an ankle monitor. Can you believe that? He had 12 prior convictions, and they wanted to put an ankle monitor on him, and the judge says, oh, no, 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 no. We can't do that. We can't do that to this man. He has rights. But now he's got 12 felony convictions. But oh, no, 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 no. He has rights. And under the no bail law, criminally negligent homicide, manslaughter, assault, burglary, and stalking are just a few of the many crimes in which the criminals will be immediately released for. Did you hear what I said? We're talking homicide, manslaughter, assault, burglary, and stalking. And that's just a few. That's all I could find. They wouldn't give us all of them. There's dozens of them. They can be released with no bail. They arrest them, they take them in, they fingerprint them and say, see you later. See, that's what New York is doing. But see, it's not just New York. But the problem is everything follows New York. You see, New York, of course, is run by Bloomberg. Everybody knows that. He's corrupt. He's evil. He's of Satan. But how can we expect our law enforcement officers to do their sworn duty to protect us when as soon as an alleged criminal is arrested, he's released? How can we allow that? How can we allow our police officers to go out there on the streets and put their life on the line to arrest these people, and then when you arrest them, you release them? That tells me as a police officer, man, if this means I'm going to get in a gunfight, I'm going to let that guy go. I'm not going to take a chance on not going home to see my wife and kids. Because you see, most police officers, they're not just out there protecting their wife and kids. They're out there for a reason. They're out there because they have a cause. They're out there because they want to protect and serve their community in the best way that they know how, and to protect those who can't protect themselves. I don't care if you like cops or you don't. You don't like cops? So be it. Click me off. I don't care. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've told my brother Dangerous Freedom many times. We've debated this. I am pro cop, and I'm pro cop all the time, because I'm going to tell you, when the end comes, we're going to need those guys, and those guys are going to be with us. When the shit hits the fan, they're going to be with us. Plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to be with us as long as we don't confront them. I know people don't agree with me on that, but I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of policemen here in my little town, and I guarantee you not one of them would enforce a red flag law, and not one of them would ever stand against an American patriot. I know that, and I know that to be true. I hope it's that way across the country. I really do. I don't know how these other towns and cities are. I'm blessed to live in a small town where I know most all the cops. And if I don't know them, they know who I am, because I waved all of them and I talked to all of them. Because these are the people that are going to be the front line of our protection. They're the ones who are going to give us patriots time to lock and load and get ready. These guys are going to be the ones on the front lines. We have to remember that. And we have to give them that honor, because it is an honor, because they are doing, and I guarantee you, at least in my town, these guys will fight for us, because they're here to literally protect and serve. Don't get me wrong. You drive drunk, you're going to jail. You commit a crime, you hit somebody, you assault somebody, you're going to jail, no doubt about it. But if you're an honest American citizen that's caught up in something, they don't judge you right off the bat. You know, and I've had the opportunity to have interactions with them where guns were involved, and they treated me with the utmost respect. But how can we expect our law enforcement officers to do their sworn duty to protect us when, as soon as an alleged criminal is arrested, he's released? There we go again. How can they arrest someone to protect us against their evil, and then as soon as they're arrested, all of a sudden they're released again? Suffolk County Sheriff Earl Tolan said this. He said that one of the most concerning things about the new law is that police have to rearrest. See, that's the whole thing. See, they have to rearrest. They've already arrested them, and now they release them, and now they're having to rearrest them again. And that's just what this sheriff is saying. You know, no bail for these criminals. You know, even once all the paperwork is done, all they do is just turn them loose. So you arrest them in the morning, you turn them loose in the afternoon, you arrest them at night, you turn them loose in the morning, and you see what I'm saying? It's a never-ending story. Between December 8th and January 8th, Jared Woodbury robbed 4 banks, and the day after his no bail release, he robbed bank number 5. Can you believe that? He robbed 4 banks, and he went to court. They arrested him. They took him before a judge. He had robbed 4 banks. He was released with no bail. Well, the very day he was released, he robbed a 5th bank. Go figure. So what are we doing here, people? Are we playing some kind of silly game with the public, or are we just being stupid? I mean, thank God we don't live in California and these places where people do this stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I want to know where the logic is. Where is the logic? Somebody tell me. Release an arrested prisoner to go commit crimes. I was sort of lost there for a second. But yeah, you're going to let these guys go back and commit more crimes, maybe even more heinous than the crimes they had committed. You know, under this new insane law, residents will be the ones to pay the price for this catch and release idiotry. And I don't even know if that's a word, but it seems like idiocy to me. And it's idiocy for New York people and the people in New York to even agree with the lawmakers that this is something they want. How can you say, "Oh yeah, let's pass this law that to when they get bust free, yeah, they're free. Don't mess with them. You know, we don't want to make them pay the price. You know, it's okay because they've been released." You know, but Bernie Sanders says our cash bail system is a disgrace. So now we've got Bernie Sanders, the Democrat frontrunner for the Democratic nomination of President of the United States for the Democrat Party. He said the bail system is a disgrace that disproportionately hurt Black and brown and poor Americans. When elected president, President Bernie Sanders will end cash bail nationwide. I'm going to be honest with you, people. I don't know much about the cash bail system, but I do know that you have to pay a certain amount, and then you have to have land or a house or something of worth to put up against these cash bails. And I just wonder, how in the world do these people get out? But see, they're talking no bail. So that's how they get out. They get out because there's no bail in New York. So now you want to commit a crime? Go to New York. Get arrested. Get released. Go commit another crime. Get arrested again. Get released. By the time you finally go to court for the first crime, you've already committed 5 other crimes. Because all they're going to do is catch and release. You see, people, that's what's going to happen at the southern border. When you talk about New York City catching and releasing criminals, murderers, pathological killers, and they're turning them loose with no bail. That's the same thing they want you to do at the southern border. It's the same thing they want you to do with MS-13 at the border. It's the same thing they want you to do with any of the cartels and anybody associated with a cartel. They want you to wipe it away and let them go free. And you see, that's where America is failing. Because there's not enough of us to stand up and say enough is enough. No, we're not going to give you a free walk. We're not going to give you free reign to run havoc over us. So since when? Since when are you? I'm not even going to call it the U.S. government. I don't know who it is. Demon rat politicians or maybe even Republicans. I don't know. But somebody is causing this mess to happen. And they're causing it by their inaction to do anything that needs to be done to protect this country. And that's the whole thing. That's why we have a militia. You know, Virginia never stops attacking our gun rights under the guise of safety against violence. See, they have to have safety against violence because we're violent. Because we gun-owning American patriots who own our guns legally and concealed carry permits given by the state in which we live. Come on, people. We have the permits. Who tells us we can't carry when our license says we can? Well, at the present time, the Virginia recognizes right to carry permits issued by other states. But if Northam and his band of demon rats have their way, out-of-state gun owners will not be able to carry in the Commonwealth of Virginia. plain and simple. In 2016, pro-gun lawmakers agreed to a measure requiring the state police attend all gun shows and provide voluntary background checks. So you see, they started back in 2016 with these background checks at gun shows. Now, I used to go to gun shows and different places like that. I'm not going to reveal too much, but I used to go to these gun shows and things like that. And you'd walk in and you'd see a gun you wanted, you bought it, you gave them your money, you picked up the gun, you walked out. That's the end of it. There's no record, there's no anything else. And if I'm going to buy a gun at a gun show, you can bet your sweet butt that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to walk in, buy it, and walk out. The issue of our rights to carry movement has been a great success across America lately. We're getting a great growth. We're getting a lot of people backing us. We're always getting new people who believe in God and guns, America and family. And states across America have made it clear that legally permitted gun owners are the most law-abiding citizens in America. So you see, we gun owners, we're not lawbreakers. You see, and the government understands that. They understand that we're not lawbreakers, but we don't take a back seat to anybody. We're not fearful. We're not afraid. Don't get me wrong. Oh, yeah. I have great fear for my brothers going to Virginia. I'm sorry that I couldn't afford the trip and I didn't have the means to get there. I'm sorry for that, brothers, but I am with you in prayer and in thought, and I'm going to be with you the whole time you're there. Just understand that everyone knows that the Virginia General Assembly is bought and paid for by Bloomberg. You got to remember Bloomberg in all of this. Bloomberg is giving all the orders. He's given all the direction because he gave all this money to Northam. You know, he bought the General Assembly and it was all paid for by Bloomberg. And we recognize that his foolish legislation underscores the fact that gun control is nothing more than an arrogant, left-wing, liberal politician indulging in their ugly political and cultural prejudices. So you see what I'm saying? That was a lot more than I could say. I had to read it. But what I'm trying to say is these politicians are indulging in things that are far beyond their prejudices. They're trying to go beyond their prejudice and encroach on us and take our rights away. You know, along with this garbage in Virginia, the Demon Rats have introduced legislation banning indoor ranges, such as the popular indoor range, get this, that the NRA owns in Virginia. The NRA has their headquarters in Virginia. So now they're saying you can't use the ranges. House Bill 767 allows for indoor ranges to exist in buildings owned, get this, by Virginia or the federal government. So now, if you're the NRA or any other gun owner that has a gun range indoor, and you've been in business for 20 years, the NRA has been there forever in Virginia. Okay, all of a sudden, your ranges are obsolete. You can't use them. Can't use them. And I want to tell you again why. It's all about only allowing police and those in charge of our safety to use these ranges. You know, they banned the NRA's headquarters. They have one of the best ranges in the world. It's a beautiful indoor range. I actually was there once. I'm going to tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. This thing is just awesome. But this HB 567 allows for indoor ranges to exist in buildings owned by the state or the federal government. The same bill states that in order for ranges to be allowed to exist is only if 90% of the range users are local, state, or federal law enforcement officers. So you see, now here's what they're doing in Virginia. They're taking gun ranges and either they're shutting them down or they're telling them that if they don't have 90% of their base as local, state, or federal law enforcement, they can't stay open. Do you see where this is going? It's taken the ability for you and I to train in a range. It's taken the ability for you and I in Virginia to express our Second Amendment rights. It's taken away from us the entire Second Amendment. If you just look at it on the base, they've taken away your ability to fire your weapon on a legal range. You may have 10% of a chance of getting in. That's not a very good opportunity to go train with a weapon that you profess to be, accurate and good at. We've got to train. We always have to train. We can't just have our guns hanging on the wall like I have these and leave them there and not take them out and use them and practice and train. And my dear friend, Dangerous Freedom will back me 100%, and so will Tactical Technician, California Critic, and everybody else I know in here are going to back you up on you need to train. You've got to stay on top of your game when it comes to your weapon. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's a 22. I don't care if it's an AR-15. You need to be proficient with the weapon that you have. And if you're not, you need to get that way. And if you have a 22 and you're a lady, I suggest up it to a 380. Get you a 380. Throw a couple of hollow points in there, you'll be fine. But these allowed ranges are required to verify the identity of every single user. And they not only want to know the identity, they want to know your address, your phone number, and what law enforcement you belong to. So you see now, there again, here you are at the range, you're going to shoot, but you don't belong to a law enforcement agency. So guess what? You don't get to shoot. This is their requirements. Identity, address, phone number, and which law enforcement entity you're representing. So you say if you don't represent a law enforcement entity, you don't get to shoot. So there's no range for you in Virginia anymore. The Virginia Attorney General vowed to enforce all new gun laws, no matter how controversial the laws may be to the public. So you see, they don't care what we think. They're going to enforce these gun laws anyway. And this is the Lieutenant Governor saying, the Attorney General saying this. The state has increased the Department of Correction fundings because of the looming showdown over the Virginia new anti-gun laws. And there again, we're going to go back to our brothers and sisters on the 20th. They put this money in the Department of Corrections to arrest our brothers because they have every intention of arresting them. I guarantee you it's not going to be pretty, my friends. God bless our patriots. God be with our patriots. And every one of us need to keep those patriots in our prayers. They're going up there to be a voice. They're going up there to be a sign for you and me that we will not stand against tyranny of any kind. You will not walk on our Second Amendment rights or any right given us by the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. We as a people need to stand firm, stand strong. If you can't go to Virginia, then pray for those who do. Be there, support them in your heart and in your mind. Know that they're there doing a fight that is part yours. Every single one of us have a piece in the fight. But we can't be there, so we have other friends, loved ones, neighbors, brothers, and friends that are going, and they're carrying the fight for us. They're not going there to cause an argument or a fight, but they're not going there to be wimps either. Our American brothers and our patriots are going to go, and they're going to stand strong for America. They're going to stand strong for our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, for God and the American way. Brothers, sisters, do me a favor as an American patriot. Remember these men. This is Friday. This is my last single video before Monday. I will be doing a live stream on Sunday morning, Bible study, and I will be doing a Dangerous Deplorables on Sunday night at 8 p.m. We're going to have our dear friend Fight and Defend back with us Sunday, because we didn't get through everything that this 3-letter agency guy had to tell us. So we're going to get back on that Sunday night. But we got to remember Monday morning. Remember our patriots. Stand true, stand firm. Praise God and thank God that we have patriots that are willing to stand for us in our place when we can't be there ourselves. So I know I've not finished my entire hour. I don't know if anybody's coming on behind me, but I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say tonight. I do have something to say. My dear friend, tactical technician, bless his heart, from Arkansas. He's a truck driver. He's coming into Atlanta Monday morning, and he's going to be dropping his load about 4 a.m. So we're going to try to get together at a truck stop or a restaurant or somewhere, and we're going to try to have breakfast and spend some time together. I've never met the guy, but we've been live together before, and we've talked a lot. So it's going to be a blessing to get to meet this guy. And I'm going to tell you, I want to meet Dangerous Freedom and Liberty Smith and CLC in Florida and Gary Holland. I want to meet all you guys. And maybe one day I will. But I'm going to have the opportunity, and I thank God for that I'm going to get to meet Major Mayhem, who is tactical technician. So y'all pray that comes to fruition, that everything works out and we're able to hook up. It's a little difficult sometimes when you drive an 18. I know, because I drove an 18 for 8 years, and sometimes your schedule gets a little screwed up. But we're going to try to get together, and pray to God we do. I want to say good night. I want to thank all of you. Jeff B., Dangerous Freedom, my brother, my friend, and my favorite person on this earth, Dangerous Freedom. Thank you for being here. Troy Bradshaw, all of you. You're all great people. Anytime I have over 10 people in a live stream, Fred Knott, hey brother, Gary Holland, Kevin Moore, Patty Toth White. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. And we're going to get out of here. We're going to let whoever goes live next. DM, I'm so glad to see you. I thought you were mad at me. I hadn't seen you in a couple of days. I was going to send you an email. I thought maybe you were mad at me for something. But if you ever do get mad at me, DM, just contact me and we'll talk about it. But Troy Bradshaw, Kevin Moore, Linda Horner, Fred Knott, Gary Holland, DM DeMod. I'm going to get out of here, people, about 4 minutes early, maybe 5. But I'm going to get out of here, let somebody else come on, because if I don't, I'm just going to ramble on. So I'll see y'all Sunday morning at 11 a.m. for the Bible study, and Sunday night after Disabled Vets Perspective at 7. Dangerous Deplorables will have a live stream with Fight and Defend. And we're going to continue some of his fantastic stories. So meet us there Sunday night at 8 p.m. God bless. I love you. Everybody have a good night, and God bless all of you.